So I'll be lying to you if I was like, mate, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna come out of Southport, it's all I'm going there and do what the I do. I'm gonna get this win.
Well, Josh, listen, tell us a little bit about your new setup. Derek James out in Dallas. I actually heard you've gone Rocky style, bro. I heard that you've taken it back to the old school, chopping trees, small team, proper going back to the roots.
Do you know what it was? I was just looking at I was just doing some research on boxing, whatnot, and I come across Ernie Shavers. Obviously, many other fighters done it back in the day. Ernie Shavers was just known as one of the strongest punchers out there. They just used to say he chopped wood. He used to chop wood, and that was like their form of calisthenics, S&C. So I have been focusing more on like old school methods. S&C is a big part of sport now, but I think there's a difference between S&C when you're outside of training camp and there's S&C when you're in training camp. So yeah, I think chopping trees and chopping wood is good for rotational power and all that type of stuff, what I was researching anyway. So yeah, I just took it on board. And it's good, makes good Instagram content.
It certainly does, mate. It certainly does. I mean, listen, let's tell us a little bit about Derek James, your new trainer. Now, we know that he likes to work on aggression. That's where you have most of your success. You're one of those fighters that likes to get stuck in and that. What is it with the teaming up of Derek James? Is it that you wanted to rediscover some of that rawness that you had back in the day? Is that what we're looking for, to get to see a more aggressive Anthony Joshua?
So when I first come in boxing, Finchley Boxing Club for 3 years. Well, no, amateur as a whole for 3 years. I was probably at Finchley for about a year before I got taken up to Sheffield, the Olympic team. So what I'm going to quickly just explain is that it was like, there wasn't much of that development stage. Like if I was boxing since I was 10 years old, you kind of go through like learning the game. But I was like always in a situation where I was preparing for big fights and big tournaments. So anyway, fast forward 3 years as an amateur, I turned professional. 3 years as a professional, you know, we win the British title, we become world champion. So it's another like quick process of like always preparing for big fights, always preparing to get somewhere. It was never kind of like that learning process. So I went on this, in the back of my mind, I'm always like, yeah, I'm doing good, but I want to like learn boxing, angles, movements, positioning. But it's crazy because like you see certain, like I watch fights and like myself, we're learning while we're fighting. We're in the ring actually fighting for world titles, and we're in the ring fighting against good opponents. And it's like, we're still trying to practice things, which is crazy. So now it's not the fact that I went to Derek James looking for the old school style, but on that quest to improve and to get what I need and keep on searching for more, I stumbled across Derek James, and I really do rate him as a trainer. Lastly, I don't want to put pressure on Derek James and say, whatever happens in the future is down to him, good or bad. It's all on me. But him, aside from what he does for me, I just think him as a coach, I really do rate him highly.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people, well, no, you didn't have an extensive amateur career, Josh, if I'm totally honest. Did you like 47 fights or something? But you moved very fast. You won the ABAs in like your second year. You was world silver medalist in third year, Olympic champion after 4 years. It was a quick move. So you were really still learning on the job. And I think like going into the Alexander Usyk fight, tactically, you thought, you know what? You had Andy Ruiz. With the first fight that you lost against Andy Ruiz, you rolled the dice. You got caught with a shot. You recognise actually that's not always the approach. The second fight, you proved that you could box on the outside. People hadn't seen that side of you. And you took those tactics. Yeah, you took those tactics into the Alexander Usyk fight, and maybe tactically you got that wrong because you tried to outbox the best boxer. Do you think, looking back on it, that actually if you would have been the Joshua of old, that old rawness, that actually you could have changed those results?
Yeah, I don't know what the results would have been, but definitely.
You know, like the Joshua that boxed Klitschko back in 2017. You know where you go, you was just raw, man. Like you just like, do you know what I mean? You just rolled dice, was raw. Do you reckon them tactics would have got you a different result?
That's the thing, right? When I watch a lot of these great fighters coming up, and you study like boxing, none of them were successful because of their rawness. They all had the technical capability, understood what they were doing in the ring. So even though that rawness got me so far, how far how would I still be in the game now?
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know what I mean? I might have been like, you know what, this is too much. I ain't got anything about me except for a big left hook and a big right hand. It's not for me. I'm just trying to improve. So how long could I stay in the game with everything that I'm learning, and how much of a fruitful career could I still go on and have if I was to keep on improving? Yeah, I may have lost a few along the way, but it doesn't mean I'm going to give up. So there is an element of, I understand what got me here, definitely, but we're not at the end yet. There's still a long way to go, and a lot of styles that I'm going to face, and everything that I'm coming up against. I think it has to mean something in the long run, and I think it will work out in the long run for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably fair to say, Josh, that, you know, like that will take you, like that rawness will take you to a certain level. You get to world level where you're at now, when you're boxing the elite, and you know, one fundamental mistake and you're getting taken out. It's heavyweight boxing, and that's what it is. So you got to add something to the rawness, and a bit of that boxing IQ and that ring craft has got to be put in there to survive at that level.
Yeah, so that's where I'm coming from. Is like, it got me so far, and I understand those foundations for sure, but I'm definitely still on that quest to say, yeah, there's still I just think there's still so much more I can give, still so much more that is like in me that I need to get out. And that was on that search. That's how I ended up in Dallas, in Derek James's gym.
Sure. I mean, good. Where are you now mentally, Josh? Like, you know, when we was out in Saudi back in August last year, you know, the result was the result, and we saw that you had a little bit of an emotional breakdown at the end, as in with the throwing of the belts and everything else, and that stuff that happened in the press conference. Actually, I was there with you. We had a great chat afterwards, didn't we? After that fight, because I recognise that emotions were running really high. Where are you now with that, mate?
Well, you know what it is? I love this industry. You know, I respect boxing so much because I do it and I know what it takes, right? And it's crazy to think that a lot of the legends that I admire and I look up to are people that are like doing podcasts now, and I can actually go online and I can hear what they have to say. And I used to do a lot of it to try and get the respect and admiration from people that I admire, and you're kind of chasing that. And that was like, when I lost the belt, it was like, I just felt that admiration and respect from the legends of the game was just like disappearing with those belts. And it was a hard pill to swallow. And now I'm just in a place where it's like, you know what, everyone, I'm doing this for myself. Like, I ain't going through that no more, where I'm putting pressure on I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Listen, if I just knuckle down and take one day at a time and take one round at a time, and I put my mind to it, what will be, will be.
Do you feel like you get the respect that you deserve from the public? I mean, we're talking about
definitely
silver medalist, Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion. This is what I can't get right. I'm going, how can you not respect this geezer, where he's come from to where he's got to and what he's achieved? Surely that deserves some respect.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is that I'm not going to search. That's what I'm saying. You can't search for it. You can't search for that. Now, you have to be happy and content within yourself. And that's what I'm going for now, is like, what's my vice? Like, what's going to make me happy? Like, you're a retired fighter, right? And one day I'm going to be a retired fighter. So I have to kind of put myself in a position where it's like, I can't continue to search for admiration from others, because sooner or later I'm not going to be in that position, because I'm not going to be a fighter anymore. And I think if we continue searching for that, it will end up, it drives us crazy. So what I've got to do is now find out what makes me happy. Like, what's in my soul? What's in my core? All right, cool. I want to get better. I like fighting. I'm going to just keep on knuckling down. I'm going to take one fight at a time, and wherever that takes me is going to be better than where I am tomorrow or today. And that's it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And because like the years are just rolling by like so quick, I just can't. I'm not going to put myself under any more pressure. I'm just going to make the most of it, enjoy this journey.
It seems like yesterday you turned pro. Now we're like, you know what I mean, talking
11 years on.
To regain it for the third time. I mean, we had Amir Khan on talkSPORT earlier on, actually, and he was talking about your career and another loss at this stage to Franklin. He said, potentially it could be dangerous. He said it could even be career over. Where do you see that? Like, where do you know, like, how much of a danger do you think Franklin is? And if the result doesn't go your way, how damaging do you think that is to your career?
Okay, Franklin's very good. Like, he's underrated. People they underrate Franklin a lot. You know, he's been around boxing for a long time. I know, like, he had a job because obviously boxing wasn't his main source of income. Like, it's, as I say, I look at fighters coming up and I just feel so sorry for him, because I'm thinking, you've got to go through so much stuff to try and get to the top. You don't even know what's ahead of you. So I wish them all the best. And Franklin's going through it, and he's here now. He's arriving at certain levels, fighting, you know, like Rydell Booker, fighting Dylan White, now fighting myself. You know, he's getting that recognition that he's yearned for a long time, and he wants to prove himself. So I can't underestimate the guy. He's very deceiving, more awkward, more elusive than what people think. So I'm just going to go in there and give him the utmost respect. And sure. I think I will keep my head in the right place. Catch my fight live on talkSPORT against Jermaine Franklin.
We saw when he come over and boxed Dillian White, he come over with no credentials. He left with loads of credentials.
That's what I'm saying.
He proved he can fight. But a question I suppose I want to ask you is, what can we expect from Anthony Joshua? What Anthony Joshua can we see on April the 1st? And by the way, it is live on talkSPORT, which is great. But what Joshua can we expect to see on April the 1st, mate? Are we going to see something different to the Joshua that we've seen in the last few fights?
Are you going to see something different? You can't really say that, Spencer. I'll be lying to you if I was like, mate, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come out of Southport. It's all I'm going there and do what the I do. I'm going to get this win. That's what I'm focusing on. Yeah.
And that sounds like the Joshua of old, the rawness.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go in
exactly
and do my job, bro. Yeah, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to make it overcomplicated. I'm a good fighter, a good jab, good defense, good right hand, good uppercut. And I'll find the gaps needed to break my opponent down. Let's
do this, mate. I can't wait till April the 1st. You know that, Josh. Respect, bro. And thanks so much for the interview. Oi, one of those, please. There you go.
God bless.
God bless, mate.